Hi, I'm Ray, and this is TinyTableGames. Thanks for clicking on the video. Today, I'll be playing Disney Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances, which is a little hex-based grid battler kind of a thing, with various Disney characters knocking each other out and coming back in. It's based on a little mobile game that they turned into a kind of interesting little card-driven tactical battler, which is really weird for Disney characters, but here we are. I blame Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, thank you for watching, and let's get to it. Okay, so Epic Alliances teaches you how to play the game in basically several chapters. Chapter 1 is like, here's the basic game, and they give you some basic rules. Chapter 2, they add a few more rules. By the end of the somewhat extensive rules booklet, which is not terribly well written, I must say, then you're doing everything, and it's the full-up game. The acrylics for this game work actually better than you would think, as opposed to just regular miniatures that you would have to paint. Normally, I'm a paint the miniatures kind of guy, but in the case of an animated series, when you can have what effectively looks like a cell from the animation, that's not bad at all. So each character has their own little character card, which states their abilities and their health and how many victory points you get for knocking them out. And nobody's permanently out in this game. You just get knocked out and respawn in the back row of your side of the table. The game plays until you either can't draw a card, which I'll come to in a moment, or someone gets 12 victory points. You get victory points by either knocking out an opponent, like Gaston is worth 6 victory points if you can take all 10 of his health, or if you finish a turn on one of these golden squares, you get 1 victory point. Now, each character has a deck of 10 cards, which is how you control everything they do. And they look, roughly like this. And when you're playing at the first round, in the first chapter, it's 2-on-2. It's Ariel and Gaston versus Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey and Aladdin. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Nonetheless, there we are. So you've got 2 decks of 20 cards for you and your opponent. And the game ends when either someone gets to 12 victory points or you run out of cards in your deck. You can either use a card, which gives you special abilities like moving extra spaces, causing extra damage, shrugging off damage, that sort of thing. Or you can do the standard stuff, which is move 2, attack for 1 that's adjacent. So on your turn, you have a movement phase and an action phase. This is over here, the turn order, if you will. They preset it for the chapter 1. Mickey, Ariel, Aladdin, and Gaston. And just this little token here that for some reason they have you cover their face with it tells you whose active turn it is. Obviously, you can't play a card for a character whose active turn it is not. So whatever you draw into your hand, and your maximum hand size is 6, that's what you start with for the game. And you draw 1 card more or less at the start of your turn after you do a status check and check for victory points. So you should roughly be 6 unless something happens. There's some forced discards and things like that. Okay, anything else? Yes. There are some status effects that can come into play, like immobilized and things like that. And they have kind of a neat way of dealing with it in this game. Rather than just tossing it onto your character card or whatever, they have it shaped so you can just stick it against the edge of the active character in the turn order markers, which is kind of a neat way of everybody keeping track of it without having to look too far. Let's see, anything else? Tracking character hit points. They have little rings, a la early hero clicks, if you will, that you can just do graduated down the character line. And each character has a different number of hit points just based on who they are. But I thought that was kind of slick. It's kind of a nice way of keeping track, visual representation, without having a pile of tokens building up on each character sheet, which is always kind of a pain in various games. So, Mickey gets to go first according to the rigged turn order that they start the game with. Let's see. We have 2 attack cards that Mickey has at the moment. And the other one is Magical Mob. Gain 2 Magic Broom. Choose up to 1 adjacent rival. Deal 1 damage to that rival for each status counter on Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey's Magic Broom. Okay, well, at the start of Mickey's turn, here's our hand of cards. We get to draw 1 more card from our rapidly dwindling deck. It's another Mickey card. Move up to 2 spaces. Gain 2 Magic Broom. And why does that matter? Because choose up to 1 adjacent rival, deal 1 damage to that rival for each status counter on Magic Broom. All right, so we will go ahead and use Studied Steps for a move action, hence the arrow. So move up to 2 spaces and gain 2 Magic Broom, which sounds ridiculous. But what it is is this little token here. So you just put that somewhere on the board. I guess I'll put it here just for keeping it straightforward. And 2 tokens on it saying you got 2 uses of it. So he's up to 2 magic broom, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but okay. And move up to 2 spaces. So he's going to do that. And get ready to challenge for that single victory point space. We're now on to Ariel. 2 action cards and 1 movement card. Her movement card is just move 4 spaces. That's crazy. I think I might do that. So for movement, we're going to burn Ariel's Swift Seas card. And in addition, we'll draw a card at the start of the turn, sorry. Which is another attack card. Range 2. Deal 3 damage to a rival or discard another damage to deal damage and they lose a victory point. Oh, interesting. All right, well, we might get to that. But for the moment, we're dealing 4. Or moving 4, I should say. So, Swift Seas. Off she goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So unless somebody knocks her off, that's going to be a victory point next turn. And for her attack action, the free one allows you to attack 2 damage to an adjacent. So in this case, instead we'll burn Courageous Spirit, which is range 2, and it will deal 3 damage to a rival. Notice there's no really rolling in this game or defensive things. It's just you do damage. At least there isn't in the initial version. So Mickey takes 3 damage because he's within 3. So he is down to 5. Okay, Aladdin, we will use one of his dash through the crowds, which is handy in that you can move through other people, but it also lets them draw a card out of their deck when you use it. So it's better to use it when their opponent's not right there on top of you. So we will burn that card, and he will move up to this one. Okay, we got 6 cards still. 3 of them are Gaston. Started the turn, draw a card. So it keeps the game clock ticking, as it were. You always draw a card at the start of the turn. Shrug it off. Remove status effects, move up to 3, deal 1 damage to an adjacent. Gain an additional movement or action phase, so you can pound people down. Alright, first he's going to move. It was basic move, 1, 2. And now he can do an action. But he doesn't have anything actionable. That's 6 cards, so we're still good on that front. So, cycles back to Mickey. Okay, so, I mean, this isn't a bad introductory way of doing it. Keeps things from getting too much to deal with at once, I suppose. Let's see, so draw a card. Mickey is not on any scoring location, so that doesn't matter. Let's see. Move up to 2 spaces and gain Magic Broom. That may come in handy here for a second. So we will do that. Move up to 2 and gain 2 more Magic Broom. He's going to go right here and boldly claim that spot, even though it's going to take him a minute. The real point is to power up Magic Broom over here. Because now, with his attack, choose up to 1 adjacent rival, deal 1 damage for each status counter on Magic Broom. And additionally, you gain 2 Magic Broom. So he's going to use Magical Mob for his attack action. So he's burning through the cards, I admit. He picks up 2 more. That gives him a total of 6. And then he promptly wallops Gaston for 6 points. Which brings Gaston down from 10 all the way to 4. Man, he almost one-shotted Gaston. That's pretty hilarious with a bunch of brooms. Which I guess kind of makes sense if you think about it. Let's see, that's all there is to do. Drew the card. That was that. Back to Ariel. She will use her basic move to move up to here. And now she will use Trident Strike. Deal 2 damage to an adjacent rival. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a combat card, deal 1 more damage to each of your rivals in an adjacent square to that rival. So in this case, it'd just be 1 more damage to Mickey. So he takes 2, and does he take a 3rd? It is a combat card. Does it have to be her combat card? Nope, just has to be a melee card. So it's revealed, but it just goes back on the top of the deck, and now everybody knows what Gast will be doing to draw on the next for the card. So Mickey takes 3 points of damage, and had anybody else been close, it would have splashed. So Mickey is now down to 2. Mickey only starts with a max of 8 compared to Gaston's 10, and Ariel's just as tough with 8. Aladdin, by the way, has 9. So kind of a mix, I guess. All right, that's her move and her hit. So we go on to Aladdin. Who picks up 1 victory point for Team Blue. Good job, Aladdin. Let's see. So he will use 2, his basic move, and then do a Street Rat Strike. Deal 3 damage to an adjacent rival. If that rival's summoner has more cards than you, deal 4 damage instead. So it's still 3 damage to Gaston. So Gaston drops to 1 hit point. And if you get KO'd, you just come back when it's your turn again in the back row. So it's Disney, so you know, no fatalities per se. So that's the move and the hit on Aladdin part. Good job. And now we're on to Gaston. Ooh, he's a brawler. Big surprise. So he is going to take advantage, interestingly, of his movement first. So he's going to go 1 to here. Oh, is that the wisest choice of action? Probably not. Probably not. He's going to stay right where he is. Skip his move action and just straight up hit Mickey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he doesn't have to use a card this round. Mickey has 2 hit points left, so just the standard attack will be enough to take out Mickey Mouse. So Mickey's health counter resets to 8 as Gaston punches the mouse. So he's off the board for the moment. And Team Red picks up 4 victory points because that's how much old Mickey's worth. Who reappears. Dun, dun, dun. Some imagination, huh? Anyway, draw a card. Shooting stars. Got 2 shooting stars for Mickey, and so just basic movements for him. So he needs to hoof it up there and back up Ariel. So 1, 2. That's all he can do. So that's the end of old Mickey's turn. Ariel, the start of her turn, she gave up her victory point location. So at the start of her turn, she's going to move to here. Do driving waves. Deal 3 damage to an adjacent rival. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a basic combat card, move that rival up to 2 spaces. And it is a combat card. So she used driving waves, does 3 damage to Aladdin. So he is down to 6. And push him up to 2 spaces. Obviously we're not going to push him over here, so drive him right back down over there. And that's it for her turn. And we're over to Aladdin now, who is going to I don't know what he's going to do. Let's see, draw a card, that's what he's going to do. Let's see, move up to 2 spaces and you can gain Stealthy. Stealthy means they can't be directly targeted. Oh. Yeah, my bad. A rival summoner may only use a direct effect on a character that's stealthy if they first banish a card of their choice from their hand. Indirect effects do not cause the summoner to banish a card. So how do you get rid of stealthy? That's, I mean, it seems a little, well, I guess you have to knock him out, right? Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so he's going to use Street Rat, again, the card, to move 4 spaces so he can get up to here. And the whole reason to do that was to, let's see, they have to be adjacent, adjacent, adjacent. Rats. Okay, maybe that was a mistake. Should have gone for taking out Gaston instead. All right, so rewind. If he's back to here, he'll use his basic move to get to here. And then he'll use his basic attack, because we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so he's got to use some sort of attack just to get rid of the card. So he will do a Street Rat Strike, which will deal 3 damage. Just to be sure, I guess. And poof, goes Gaston. So he resets to 10. And he is off the board for the moment. And Team Blue gets 6 victory points for punching Gaston off, which brings them to a total of 7. So suddenly they take the lead. And Ariel stands alone at the moment. But it is now Gaston's turn, so he immediately pops back out. Let's see, draw a card. So let's see, he's fully healed, and we need some movement. I guess Gaston's just going to step up. 1, 2. Next to Abaddon. And use Sheer Bravado. Deal 4 damage to an adjacent rival. If Gaston and that rival are not adjacent, do 6 instead. To Abaddon. He was at 6, so in one mighty, mighty blow, Abaddon is out for the moment. And that is 6 victory points. 1 away from the win for Team Red. Nice work, Gaston. Boy, what a guy. That Gaston. All right, sorry. So, over here, Team Blue. It's back to Mickey, who better do something quick. He's got to take Ariel off that victory point spot. So, can he? What's she at? Oh, she's at full health. Wow. They have lost. He cannot get up there and do 8 points of damage to her in a single turn, because on the next turn it'll be her, and the first thing they'll do is collect a victory point. So that is a victory for Team Red. So there you have the most basic form of a quick game of Disney's Sorcerer Arena. So far I like it. We'll see what it adds in Chapter 2, because there's technically 4 chapters. We'll keep building up as we go. I know this is short, but hey, it's kind of interesting. And I figured that way you can see how it develops as I do it. For being a weird kind of mix of Disney characters punching each other on a small hex board, I kind of like it. It's got a little bit of that Memoir 44 feel, you know, that Richard Borg mechanic of play the card to make the move, that command and colors thing, which is what he officially calls that particular system. Personally, one of my preferred wargaming systems for kind of containing the amount of rules you have to deal with, unlike, say, like, you know, Battletech or Advanced Squad Leader or something like that. So, for a weird little skirmish game where Disney characters are beating the crap out of each other, I like it so far. I'm Ray, this is TinyTableGames. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stick around. Chapter 2 video will be coming soon. Thank you for watching.